Huge show today. We got to start off by talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles. Now, which team is better? How wide is the gap? Both teams undefeated with their current quarterbacks. But besides that, how about rest in the NFC East? Carson Wentz, you will not believe what his head coach said about him. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. You also won't believe this. Davante Adams shoving a cameraman post-game. Should he be suspended? What should the punishment be? That's Dave. That's Joy. That's Shady. Honestly, though, Shady, what should the punishment be for you wearing Cowboys colors, big dog?
Oh, that's not Cowboy colors.
Well, it's blue and white.
No.
It's blue and white.
No, that's Eagle colors right there.
It's just.
Yeah, he got to work on that.
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
No, you're not flying very far.
Oh, man.
First time for everything.
Yo, why you give me no dap today, though?
My bad, big dog. My bad, big dog. You're right. That's on me. Anyway, let's get things rolling with the game last night, which everybody was watching. Chiefs, Raiders, what a game. Chiefs were down by 10 in the second quarter. Patrick Mahomes with a quartet of touchdowns to Travis Kelce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count them up. Raiders battled. End of the game, they went for 2. They did not get it. Chiefs win. Patrick Mahomes wins. Chiefs once again doing what they do best, and the Raiders 1-4. I'm thinking to myself, though, 2-5, watching the game, that was a terrible Raiders loss. Terrible Raiders loss.
Wasn't a good one.
As much as I want to give credit to the Chiefs, here's why it was so bad, America, for you at home watching. Travis Kelce might be the most talented tight end in the history of football. Not the most long playing, not that has the greatest longevity, just strict talent, receiving tight end.
Yeah, right.
And you let him score 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns? That's embarrassing. It's literally defensive coaching malpractice. You should be able to stop the one player that you know is going to get the ball. As much as I want to praise the Kansas City Chiefs, I can't, because as a former defender in the National Football League, it was pathetic watching the Raiders try to defend against Travis Kelce in the red zone. That's their one guy. For the rest of the season, America, that will be their one guy, and the Raiders couldn't do nothing about it. Where do you stand? Good Chiefs win, bad Raiders loss?
I'm going to go with a good Chiefs win, right? I've been tough on them just because Tyreek Hill's leaving and seeing if that offense can maintain that firepower. And it showed me last night that the Chiefs have the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he's getting it done, bro.
So you said it was Josh Allen 3 weeks ago.
No, but it's just like really watching him. Like, hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
So when I watch Josh Allen, now Josh is playing great, right? He's playing great right now too. But the difference is like he has a number one receiver, right? Stephon Diggs. He has a number one guy. They don't have it over there. Their best offensive weapon is a tight end, right? And granted, it is Travis Kelce, and he's a dog, but he's been perfect. Patrick Mahomes has been perfect.
You played for the Chiefs. You won a Super Bowl for the Chiefs. Admit on national television it was your text messages by your former teammates that assuaged your opinion. Tell the world.
No, it's not that. It's just that like he's playing lights out. Patrick Mahomes plus Andy Reid is showing me what it really is. Like, that's a special combination. Did you see him last night?
I seen him.
Step up in the pocket, he about to get hit, throwing the sidearm. Like, he's showing me why he really is that guy. He's that guy.
Good Chiefs win. Joy, where do you stand? Bad Raiders loss, good Chiefs win.
That's a bad Raiders loss. We all picked the Chiefs to win last night, right? Expected them to win in Arrowhead at home. Those fans going crazy. For the Raiders to be in this game the way that they were and to let that get away, that is a rough way to lose. If you go in there and the Chiefs dominate or they're in control the whole time, okay, like that's expected. It's on the road. That's a hard place to play. It's in division. But to have a chance to try and steal a game the way that you've been playing this year against the Kansas City Chiefs, they had multiple opportunities to win this game.
True.
And to your point, all you got to do is stop Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce the only one scoring. So to me, if I'm the Raiders, and we saw how frustrated they were. I'm frustrated because that felt like a missed opportunity for the Raiders. To me, to win, to go into Arrowhead and steal, not just a win against the Chiefs in division, but really to reset your season. They were right there. If this was a blowout or the Chiefs had been ahead the whole time, I wouldn't feel the same way about it. Like, they had an opportunity to win that game.
Can I admit something kind of messed up? I'm not even that impressed by what the Chiefs did because I just expect it from the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're down 17-0 in the first half. I'm like, oh, the run's coming. The Chiefs are coming. Then in the second half, like, this is how silly it is. Like, Kelce keeps catching touchdowns. They take the lead, as everybody but maybe the most diehard Raiders fans expected them to. But then the Raiders come back and tie it. I mean, they didn't wind up tying it. They go for 2, they don't get it. The Chiefs drive, and they had to punt, remember? And I remember thinking, like, damn, that's kind of disappointing, Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can't close this thing out. Like, that is the standard that I hold the Chiefs to, that they came back from 17-0, and I'm like, that's light work for a Monday. So, I mean, it's a bad Raiders loss, because I don't even think of that as a super impressive performance by Chiefs standards. More so, the Raiders had it, man. Like, I mean, like, that is as well as you can play the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and to not get it, that bites.
Joy hit the nail on the head. If you go up 17-0, Shady, let me ask you. Opposing team is up 17-0. You don't have Tyreek Hill. All you have is Travis Kelce. You have been on that team before. What is the state of mind on the sideline if you are the Kansas City Chiefs?
17-0, that's nothing. In the playoff game, when I won the championship there, we were down against the
Cleveland Browns?
No.
The Titans.
The Titans,
Yep.
right? 24 points or something like that. Like 20.
It was a lot to a little. I remember that.
And over there, it was nothing. We got this. We got it. And sure enough, scoring, touchdowns, scoring, get a stop, touchdowns. That offense is like crazy. And last night, what I really watched and paid attention to is like they don't look super fast like before. Before they look super fast. Yeah. Tyreek, then he doing the jet sweeps, then you got McCole Hartman doing stuff. They just look efficient, running the ball, little quick screens, little quick passes. Like, they look like a machine running, bro. And it's scary. It's scary because they're doing so well with not the same type of, like, look and talent.
It was the Texans, I remember now.
Texans.
Houston was in the playoffs not that many years ago, which is crazy.
How has your opinion changed so drastically? It was just 2 weeks ago where you was on this set telling the whole world Chiefs not the same squad.
They're not the same squad. But they're running like a machine. I'm used to saying big plays. Since I've known Andy Reid, I was a 20-year-old kid. He called me up, and I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're going to take you with the 53rd pick. When I got there, I seen the way he recruits, the way he signs players, he drafts players. He drafts speed, big play capability type of guys. They don't really have that. Juju, I mean, I can do that. What he's doing out there, he's D'd up, he's covered, he's not even scaling drops every other pass, but they're running like a machine. I'm not seeing them 30, 40-yard passes. They're not. You're not watching it.
They are different.
So they look different, but they're still effective. That's what I'm saying. Like that. Really watching the last couple of weeks. I'm really watching them dissecting the team. Like, wow, they're not as explosive, but they're like a machine now.
Speaking of being ineffective, let's talk about what was ineffective, rather. Joy, that 2-point conversion. We were all watching it. Chiefs, they go up 30-23. Raiders, they come back, it's 29-30, have a pivotal decision to make. Yep. Josh McDaniels, you're in Arrowhead. It's on the second time as a head coach. First time it didn't go so well. It's not going so well this second time. You can either go for 2 and take the lead, go up 31-30, go for 2, you miss it, you're down 29-30, which is inevitably what happened, or just kick the field goal, tie it, play it safe, maybe go into overtime. The Raiders ended up going for 2. As you likely know, they did not get it. Joy, are you okay with the decision?
This is where I've landed with these going for it on 4th and 1 and going for it on 2, going for 2. If you get it, you're a genius. If you don't, you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. So just do what you think is best. Yeah. That's just at the end of the day. I know there's analytics that can predict this and all that. That's all good and fine. But it's the same conversations that we constantly have. If he gets it, he's a genius and they win, amazing. Do it every single time. If they don't, we're having this conversation about whether it was a good choice or not. Yep. But at the end of the day, this really isn't that important to me. I would have kicked the field goal and made it even. Because even if you do score 2, they can still win with a field goal. So it's not like you're putting yourself out of reach. Mm-hmm. You're still going to have to score again. So you might as well tie it. But you had opportunities to win the game after this. What was there, 4 minutes, 27 seconds left on the clock? This wasn't the last play of the game. You had opportunities after this to win the game, to get back in it. They catch that ball, they're in field goal range. Yep. So I can't really get too explosive about this particular call. While I would have kicked the field goal, you had multiple opportunities to go and win the game. So good choice, not a good choice, it really doesn't matter. Go win the game if you really like that.
Which that's why it was a great choice. Because first of all, if they get it, that's the game-winning points. The Chiefs didn't score again. I just said, I was surprised, but they stopped them. They stopped them and forced a punt. So not only the Chiefs did not score any more points, so if you get it, you have the game-winning points. And even then, after stopping them after not getting it, they had a chance to drive and win the game at the end. So even having not gotten it, they still had an opportunity to win the game in the final minutes. I loved it. On the road, the Chiefs are feeding off their crowd. You get the confidence of making a comeback. Right. Try to win that thing.
This is why football's fascinating, though, 2-5, because I was okay with the decision to go for it. Right. I'm never going to question the coach in the moment, right, in that specific moment, going for 2. I didn't love it, though, for the opposite reason of what Dave just said. The Chiefs didn't score any more points, but it's because they only had 3 downs to do so.
Right.
They were ahead. 3 downs, punt the ball on 4th down. If the Chiefs were trailing, in the event the Raiders do go and get that, and the Chiefs are trailing 31-30, you going to give Mahomes and Reed 4 downs to go down the field? I feel like by going for 2, you were enticing the Chiefs to be even more dangerous than they already were. That was my only train of thought. I know you were watching the game closely. What do you think?
I like the decision, right? Because, okay, like you talked about, if they got to drive the whole field and then get a field goal, well, their main kicker, who's a beast, he was hurt.
Yep.
So now you depend on the backup to win the game. He's never been in a situation before, so I do like it. But what I don't like, the 4th and 1 call, right? Where they ran to each other. My thing is,
God.
Why are we running a route 10 yards downfield?
That's real. But here, let me counter that.
That was crazy.
Let me counter that. If I'm not mistaken, their first touchdown, 8 minutes, 27 seconds in the first quarter.
In the first quarter.
Deep ball.
First quarter.
Pass to Devontae Adams. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That same
Not in the first quarter.
What, you mean not in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, you're saying that play was in the first quarter.
Yes, sir.
That's cool.
Yes, sir.
Not in the fourth quarter. You can dial up so many different plays. It's 4th and 1. You can run the ball. You can do whatever. My thing is, you put a defense in a bind. It's 4th and 1. Game time. Look, they thinking how you thinking. We got to stop them. We got to get it. Not no freaking 10, 15-yard pass. That was crazy.
But don't you want to go to the best player in that moment? The best player is Devontae Adams by any means.
How do you know for sure that's who he was throwing at? They took each other out of the play.
Not 15 yards downfield. You could dice up slants. You could do all type of stuff.
Joy, talk about that. How did you feel about the fact that even later on in the game, or even to Shady's point, they kicked that field goal on 4th and 1 earlier in the game?
Right.
It was just a lot of indecision. Do you need more consistency?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like they were consistent in their desire to be aggressive. Like, be aggressive when you have the time. So why would you kick the field goal there, go for it on 4th and 1 there when to kick the field goal? That makes more sense to me than going for 2 at the end of the game. But that particular moment is what stood out to me, not going for 2. How does that happen? How do you, at first I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be a big penalty, obviously.
Yeah, right.
It had to be pass interference because they're all over the field. There's bodies flying everywhere.
You know route concepts. From a defender, I have my own perspective, but you talk to me as a guy who has over 15,000 yards, inclling nearly 4,000 receiving yards in the league. How's that happen?
I don't know. I guess it was like a go and an out route, but my thing is, it's so far upfield. Why it's 1 yard. Why are we... If you want to do pick routes, do it at the line of scrimmage. They were playing man, bump and run man, because they didn't know if it was going to be a run or not.
I just can't believe that happened. I had to watch it like 5 times.
I was expecting the flag live, and then I watched it, and I was like, no, they tackled each other. That's not a flag.
How does this happen?
Like, it's bad.
Not only did they have, those were their 2 most dependable wide receivers.
Right.
Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver in football, and Hunter Renfrow, the second best 3rd down wide receiver or clutch wide receiver in football by percentage. And those 2 ran into each other. Raiders are going to rate it.
They in trouble.
Coming up, you got to